I'm your Second 23. You're joining me for Distant Shores, Chapter 16. The end is the beginning. You finally reach the heart of mysterious time temple. Just as Edward collapses. Edward! You drop to your knees and examine his eye. The wound there is much worse. Swollen and discolored where the darts pierced his skin. Oh no, the darts must have been poisoned. Edward tries to brush your hands away. I'm fine. We have to stop the admiral. Edward, I'm not risking your life. Not for him, it's not worth it. My life is not worth the thousands who will be at risk if we let the admiral win. Edward grimaces and sits up a little straighter. He catches your hand. His face is haggard, but his eyes are feverishly clear. Please, Peyton, we cannot let him win. Not again. Just don't die on me. I will do my best. Together, the three of you get Edward back to his feet. He sways and seems to draw on a deep resolve. The admiral is mine. You nod before drawing your weapon and stepping forward into the heart of the temple. Do you see the admiral or Robert anywhere? No, but they gotta be around here Just then you hear a rev of a car engine. You jump back just in time to avoid being run over. What is that? That beast? You try to catch a glimpse of the driver, but the car has already disappeared into thin air. In its place is... You! What do you think you're doing? You're improvising on my set. The director for my audition, but... You blink and find yourself staring at a submerged temple glistening beneath the waves. You start to swim towards the surface, but everything shifts around you again, bringing you back in an instant. You land on your feet, feeling as though the air has been knocked out of your lungs, but you're completely dry. What's happening? Time is fracturing apart, taking the temple and who knows how much of the rest of the world with him. And I think I know why. You point across the wide chasm that stretches out between you and the innermost part of the temple. On the other side is a swirling portal. You stare at a black lightning rim sits with blue and silver. Pretty. Your gut clenches as you step closer, knowing in your bones what this is. It's a time portal. My way home. I thought I'd be happier to see it. You aren't happy, love? No, I am. It's just... I don't know, it feels bittersweet. The four of you step forward to get a closer look. There's an inscription at the base here, but I can't read it. Maybe the Navy boy can. He went to fancy schools and whatnot, didn't he? I don't recognize the language. It looks ancient, but it's not Greek or Latin. You bend down to touch the inscription and it begins to writhe beneath your fingertips, twisting and reforming into something you recognize. My heart is empty, time and space rent asunder. The ancient artifact from my hand was plundered. Return the compass and the fabric will be mended. Peace restored, all wounds rescinded. What does it mean? We need to get the compass back from my father. And return it to the portal to close it. And then everything will go back to the way it should be. And I'll go back to when I should be. Peyton. A wave of magic shimmers through the air. You spin around to face the portal just in time to see. Marvelous, simply marvelous. The Admiral pauses when he sees the four of you standing before him. You tighten your grip on your weapon. Let me guess, you're here to stop me. I'm afraid it's much too late for that. I've seen the future and it's magnificent. Well, except for the part where the British Empire no longer rules the world. Tragic, that. But now that I can retrieve weapons from the future, it will be simply a matter to restore order. Just look at this beauty. The Admiral pulls a weapon from behind his back, brandishing it with glee. Oh, it's an AK. Hey, Sklisnikov. Skra brother. Admiral Cochrane. You can't mess with history. I know you don't have sci-fi movies yet, but trust me, this doesn't end well for you. It's more dangerous than you know. Oh, believe me, I'm well acquainted with how dangerous this thing is. Father, please, if you won't listen to Peyton and look around us, something terrible will happen if you don't put the compass back and restore time before it's too late. Even the compass, I think. No. He's still gone. In fact, I'm going to destroy the compass, so no one can close the portal. Ever. He holds the compass high, preparing to smash it against the ground. Wait! I'll take that. Out of nowhere, Robert swings in on a vine. He slams right into the admiral, causing him to drop his weapon and the compass. Ooh! Robert! The compass, quickly! Robert lands next to the compass and snatches it up. Put it in the portal. That's the only way. Robert looks down at the compass and locks eyes with you, slowly shaking his head. And then what? Time corrects itself and the two of us are flung back to the future. No, destroying the portal is the only way. I won't go back, not after everything I've been through, I won't. Then perish! The admiral springs up from the ground, attacking Robert from behind. Robert goes rigid as the admiral runs him through with a sword, the tip of his blade piercing clean through his body. It has come to my attention, sir, that you are a liability I can no longer afford. Admiral Cochrane plucks the compass from Robert's quaking hand, then roughly shoves him through the shimmering portal. You bastard. I honestly wanted to do that myself. I'm terribly sorry for depriving you of that pleasure. Oh yeah, you look really, really sorry. Oliver draws a sword, but Edward steps in front of him. No, he may be your father, but this is my fight. But you're hurt. He shakes his head, not in denial of your claim, but out of stubbornness. I have to do this as the only way I'll ever be free of him. Watch as Edward squares off against the Admiral. They exchange no words, just nod to each other before they raise their weapons. You wince as the first clang of metal on metal echoes through the chamber. I won't let you win. The Admiral ducks a swing and spins out of the way of the quick thrust with the grace of a man half his age. Who said you'll have a choice in the matter? The poison is clearly affecting Edward's balance. One heavy swing nearly topples him before he manages to recover. We have to help. It's too dangerous to get in the way of a duel like that. Besides, I don't think Edward needs our assistance. Look. You turn to see Edward raining down a series of furious blows that the Admiral barely has time to block. This ends now. He lunges towards the Admiral in a fury. But instead of stabbing him, he tangles the tip of the sword in the compass's chain. No! With a flick of the wrist, the compass pops out of the Admiral's grasp and in the air for a breathless moment. You lunge and catch the compass just before it falls into the abyss below. You hold it over your head triumphantly. Got it. Quick, get to the portal. You take off running. Behind you, blade rings against blade as Edward blocks the Admiral's furious attempts to pursue you. I won't let you out of my way. You glance over your shoulder and see the Admiral knock Edward back. You quicken your pace as you sprint towards the portal. Not so fast. In before he picks up the AK. You're tripped from behind. Sweet mother of how slow are you walking? You land hard on the stone floor. Peyton. The Admiral's above you, sword raised high. Your time has run out. In a fraction of a second, his blade will come thrashing down on you, ending your time in the past, present, and future. I failed. You brace yourself for the killing blow, but it never comes. You look up to see the fatal attack has been blocked. Go. I'll hold him off. You scramble to your feet as Edward strains under the Admiral's weight. You fools, don't you see what you're giving up? Think of all the power, the riches you're throwing away. I can give you anything you want. You back away towards the portal, clutching the compass protectively against your chest. You have no idea what I won. Don't I? Edward faints to one side, causing Edward to stumble. He presses his advantage, and it's all Edward can do to stay between him and you. Peyton, the compass! Admiral grins as he pushes harder and harder. Edward staggers back, the dart's poison clearly taking its toll. What if I promise to let him live? Don't listen to him. You have to close the portal. For the love of God, Oliver, and anyone, really, but really, for a moment you and Edward lock eyes. Welcome to Poseidon's Revenge. It's uncanny how the more I learn about you, the more mysterious you become. Peyton, I will always put myself between you and danger. You relive weeks in an instant, a heartbeat. All the while, doubt echoes in your mind. Can you really give all this up? Peyton. You reach out, but it's too late. Watch in horror as Edward slips through your fingers. Edward! You know what you have to do. No! We turn and thrust the compass into place as Edward strength runs out. Peyton. Edward collapses at the Admiral's feet as a brilliant light floods the temple. You blink and all around you there is nothing but frozen silence. It's as if you exist outside of time. You look down at your hands and clench your fists. You can feel the magic surging through your veins. And here I was hoping saying goodbye to the Admiral meant we helped Edward for once. What is this? As you raise your hands to inspect him, time warps around you. The temple surrounding you again, shifting back into place by the slightest flick of your wrist. Cool, let's try that again. At your command, the sports car reverses back through the temple, and one of the time rifts closes up behind it. Sent it back where it belongs. I don't know how long this power will last, but I sure as hell know what I am going to do with it. The Admiral is directly before you, frozen in midair as he steps over Edward's fallen body, a sword still raised to strike you down. Reverse time on Edward's wound. You rend your hands over Edward's injury, forcing the power through your fingertips. Come on. You watch as the wound knits itself back together, the poison coagulating as it oozes from the puncture holes and drips down Edward's side. What's happening? I'm making it so the wound never happened, and done. You turn to the Admiral. You use your newfound powers to open a smaller rift in time and space right under the Admiral. What are you doing? Getting rid of you. Once and for all. Bye! You watch with satisfaction as he falls through the rift, then closing behind him. Now that the trash has been taken out, you can already feel the power start to drain from you, but you still have something left to do. If I do this right, I should be able to buy myself a few hours before I have to go back. Close your eyes, gathering up every scrap of power you have left, and then let it out. A terrifying crash breaks the stillness. You snap back into reality as the others start to move again in reverse. Edward, Charlie, and Oliver tumble about the room, retracing their steps to a backward stance, but the Admiral and Albert don't join them, their fates sealed outside of time. Another rumble shakes the temple, and the whole structure shifts ominously. It's sinking back into the ocean. The realization breaks your concentration, and you stagger towards the stone bridge, desperate to cross it before it resubmerges underwater. You hit the corridor at its end and run, chasing after Edward as he moves backwards through the tunnels. Almost there. Finally, you hit the beach. You wave your arms at the crew, getting their attention. Everyone back to the ship! Back to the ship! What happened? No time. Go, now. All the crew scatter back to their ships. You make it back to the Intrepid, your boots hitting the deck just as the temple disappears once more into the depth. And just like that, the feeling in your gut has completely disappeared for the first time since you started this journey. You take a deep breath to steady yourself, then turn to the others. Set course for Taberman. It's time to go home. Where's the choices and choices? We're just literally just playing along as if it's like a, I don't know, a poorly written TV show right now. Later that night, the crew is gathered around you as you regale them of what happened inside the temple. Do you remember, Edward? Bits and pieces like a hazy dream until you rushed out shouting at us to return to the ship. What happened, Peyton? Where did Robert go? Did we defeat the Admiral? We defeated the Admiral, but Robert didn't make it. Oh, I suppose it shouldn't make me sad, but he was one of us once. You can mourn. Henry puts his arm around her, and Maggie leans into his support. I just wish he had joined forces with us. I wish things had been different. Aye, but Robert made his choices. Charlie squares her shoulders. And I, for one, am done crying over him. She grabs a nearby bottle of rum and lifts it in a toast. The day is ours. And it's all thanks to Peyton. I don't know about that. We do. This is your celebration, Miss Bellamy. Enjoy it. You look at Edward's smiling face and wish you could just enjoy the evening, but I don't know when my time will be up. I just have to make the most of every moment. That's how you should live your life, really, but laughter rings out as they break out the casks and begin filling the tankards. They're the best damn crew in the Caribbean. Hear, hear. We'll have to come up with a new name for our act, Ada. Damn dude, just doesn't seem like enough anymore. Ooh, we could emphasize the pirate angle now. Maybe the pirate twins. The amazing pirates? The acrobatic sailors. The pain in the arses. Don't be jealous, Kenny. You can join our act too. With what talent? Bittersweet. You're such a good girl, Polly. Good God, man, you call this food? What's wrong with it? Hey, don't be insulting Henry's cooking. He's the best chef on land or sea. Besides, Doyle, you can hardly handle yourself in the kitchen, or with a kitchen maid. That was one time. Now this is a story I must hear. I'm gonna need more rum for this. As another round of drinks is served, you catch a certain someone's eye across the deck, gliding your hand in a silent invitation for them to join you. Who do you want to spend your last night with? Miss Bellamy. Are you still calling me that? Haven't I earned Peyton yet? You have many times over, but I admit. He reaches up to brush a stray hair from your face, his fingers lingering along your cheek. I'm a bit partial to Miss Bellamy. Really? Kinky. Is that another one of your modern words, kinky? Yes, and please feel free to keep using it all the time. You smile as you take in his relaxed expression, but you grow more serious as your eyes trail down his face to his side. You reach a hand out to the place where he was once gravely wounded. How are you feeling? I mean, the poison door, whatever magic you did to reverse time, seems to have worked. It's as if I never was hurt. He lifts his shirt to show you his healed side, and your breath catches as you take in his chiseled abs as well. You let your fingers trace over his bare skin, feeling the way his muscles clench beneath your touch. You tease me, Miss Bellamy. Is it teasing if I intend to follow through? It is when I've been dying to touch you since the day we met. Your breath catches as you take in his intense gaze. What do you want, Peyton? Tell me. Time is running out. You can feel it. This may be your last chance with him. But of course. Then lead the way. Grab his hand and pull him towards the cabin. The door clicks shut behind you. You take 2 steps back and Edward follows you, an intent look in his eyes. So, Miss Bellamy. Peyton. I spent years fantasizing about my moment of triumph. How it would feel to finally have my revenge against the Admiral, to have justice. He reaches out to touch your shoulders, fingers skimming along till they find a patch of bare skin. How does it feel? Honestly, I'm not sure. From the moment I knew it was all over, I could think of nothing but you, of having you here like this. His hands move down to your waist, gripping the fabric there. You nod, and he coaxes your clothing from your body. Edward. You reach for him, pulling off his jacket, then his shirt, until he's as bare as you are. Peyton. His knuckles graze your cheek, and then your throat, before tracing a path between your breasts. Step closer, luring him closer to the man. Tell me more. His gaze heats as he closes the distance between you. I thought of all the ways I could have you, all the ways I could take you. All of them. Whenever you have the time. I may have started before today. You take another step back and your legs bump against the bunk. Would you like to hear some of my favorite ideas? The look in his eyes makes your knees weak. You drop to the edge of the bed without entirely meaning to. Perhaps it would be better if I just showed you. Before you can respond, he sinks his fingers into your hair, his mouth descends on yours, hot, hungry, and utterly relentless. You gasp with the sensation, but parting your lips only makes it easier for him to tease your tongue with his. You melt into the moment as his hands begin to stroke your body, exploring with focused intent. Oh. Every time you make a sound, he seems to mark the spot on a mental map of your body. His fingers return, and then his mouth. Moan for me, Peyton. He leans over you, pushing you higher up onto the bed. His mouth slips away to linger on your throat, your collarbone, your breast. His fingers stroke the inside of your thigh, igniting a fire in the pit of your stomach. Tell me, what do you want, Peyton? Your name is a caress on his lips. It's all you can do to pull your thoughts together and answer. Edward, I want everything. The heat of the mouth returns to sear you, his kisses. He kisses your lips, your chin, the hollow at the base of your throat, and then his mouth trails lower. You arch as he attends to one of the breasts, writhe when he teases the other. You gasp his name as his tongue dances across your skin. His hands coax your thighs apart as he sinks to his knees by the edge of the bed. You did say everything. His thumbs stroke your inner thighs, his warm breath tickles over you. Your entire body clenches in anticipation. I've been dreaming of tasting you. Your breath leaves you in a sharp cry as Edward's mouth begins to caress you slow and languid at first, then faster and deeper. Your whole body tightens and you grip the blankets as your toes curl. Ecstasy rises in an inexorable wave, too vast to comprehend. As it begins to sweep you away, you reach out for something solid and find Edward above you. Everything, Peyton. The world tumbles end over end, and then there's just the mattress beneath your back and Edward's body stretched out above you. Yes, please. Closes the distance between you and gives you everything hard and tense, catching you before the last wave crests. He drives you up and up. You wrap your arms around him, clinging desperately as the pleasure becomes a violent storm. The storm sweeps you both up, and you feel a prick of guilt. This may be the only time. Then, even that thought is washed away, and for an endless moment all you do know is the feel of him against you and his voice in your ear. I'm yours, Peyton, until the end of time. The end of her time, maybe. Later, you're lying in Edward's arms. He strokes your arm absentmindedly, and you try to savor the moment. What are you thinking about? You. Oh, only good thoughts, I hope. As if I dare to think anything else about the great pirate Bellamy. You chuckle, and Edward holds you tighter. I was thinking, if I hadn't found you, I'd have nothing now. After my revenge, I'd be sitting alone in this cabin with nothing left to want. No dreams. That's not true. You have the crew. True, I wouldn't be totally alone, but I still would have given no thought of what I want next. And now? Now the future we saw together, the adventures, the laughter. The family? Aye, especially the family. Guilt pierces your heart. You don't know how much longer you have left, but this night may be the only night he can have. Do I tell him? Is it fair not to? Edward, what if I'm not there? Edward stiffens next to you, his voice careful and controlled. What do you mean? It's just, when we close the portal, if everything goes back to the way it was before, I think I go back to the way I was before, or when I was before. Are you sure? No, but I have a gut feeling, and my gut hasn't been wrong about much so far. Pulls you closer and brushes a kiss to the top of your head. Then I'll savor every moment of this night, and I'll wait for you. Edward, no, we don't know. Hush. He presses a finger to your mouth and then traces your lower lip gently. Fate brought us together once, and I don't believe this is where our story ends. You don't? No, I told you, Peyton. You've taught me how to dream. He leans down, brushing his lips over yours in a kiss that feels like a solemn vow, like a promise. You don't know how many hours you have left, but right now, all that matters is this. When you wake the next morning, aha, the compass shall be our salvation, and whoa. You feel like you've just landed suddenly on your feet. A bit breathless and disoriented, you look around and see the TV set. I'm back at the edition. It's like no time has passed. You search for the compass, but it's nowhere inside. Cut! Seriously, what was that? You trailed off mid-sentence. I don't need to see any more. Get off my set. You know what? Just go, he's not worth it. Gladly. You march past the director towards the door when someone blocks your path. Aiden, what the hell was that? What happened to literally everything we talked about? That was a lifetime ago, Steve. Priorities change. You spot a brochure on the craft service table for the new pirate exhibit at the Maritime Museum. You scoop it up, your mind churning. Hey, do you know how to get to the Maritime Museum? An hour later, you've changed into more discreet clothes and are walking up to the museum's front steps. I don't know what's worse, finding out my friends died a horrible death or finding out information about them all. You steel yourself and step through the doors to see... Is that... me? The center display is that of a captain's cabin. The great pirate Peyton Bellamy's captain's cabin. Set out exactly how you remember it. Captain Bellamy was quite the legend, wasn't she? You turn to see a museum curator approaching with a smile. Oh wow, you look just like her, distant relative. Something like that. She was truly a fascinating character, my personal favorite of all the famous pirates. Peyton Bellamy was one of the true pirate captains. The Royal Navy was quite an obsession with taking her down. She had a habit of revealing the embarrassing hypocrisies and atrocities they committed in the name of country. That sounds like a noble hobby. The British didn't agree, but nothing new. The rivalry only increased her legendary status among the people. Well, that and the fact she redistributed most of her spoils to those in need. A real-life Robin Hood, huh? That's what they say. It's one of the reasons some scholars have become so fierce about the dread pirate theory. Dread pirate? It's a theory that many different people inherit the same name and sail under its protection and reputation, like the dread pirate Roberts in The Princess Bride. Your heart beats a little faster, but you fight for a casual tone. And why do some people think they might be the case with Peyton? Well, she's credited with so many adventures, and the timing of them all is a bit odd. There are gaps in her story, as if she completely vanished off the face of the earth, only to magically reappear years later. Some historians even claim she didn't age, hence the theory that Peyton was a title passed down from mentor to mentee. Or maybe she's a time traveler, keeps finding a way back to the people she cares about. Can you tell me more about some of her stories? Certainly. Which would you like to hear first? The time she rescued a town from a hurricane, the time she drank with Anne Bonny, or her infamous duel with the Pirate Kings? Tell me about the Pirate Kings. Ah, yes, the 7 Pirate Kings. It's almost like we're watching One Piece right now. They were a ragtag lot, according to the stories. Second-tier pirates with terrible reputations who were more prone to botch a job than profit. They don't sound like kings. They don't, do they? They terrorized a corner of the Caribbean for many years, going into hiding anytime a real pirate tried to stop them. Cowards. Finally, Peyton had enough. Had enough, okay. She started a rumor that she'd challenged all of them to a single duel, and they were too afraid to meet her. 7 against 1. There was a sting to their egos that they finally couldn't ignore. So, they finally arranged the duel. And she won against all 7. Oh, yes. They were begging for mercy within minutes. Tell me about Anne Bonny. Ah, yes, and Bonnie, another infamous pirate. She was quite the character on her own. She and Peyton don't seem to have crossed paths often, but the most famous time involves some sort of drinking game. One historian even claims it was a primitive form of beer pong, but that just can't be true. Of course not. Nobody remembers what the wager was, but apparently the friendly competition grew fiercer as their respective crews drank the tavern dry. Someone accused Peyton of cheating during the last round, and her crew took exception. The brawl had followed launched a decades-long rivalry. They fought each other. Only when they weren't fighting the British together. Tell me about the hurricane. Oh, this one's one of my favorites. Legend says a fierce hurricane was headed straight towards the port Peyton called home. Tiburon? Yes, actually, you've heard of it. Lucky guess. Peyton and her crew spent 3 sleepless days and nights sailing hard to beat the storm to the island to warn everyone. By the end of it, Peyton and her crew hadn't slept in a week, but they rescued every man, woman, and child. No one quite knows how Peyton even knew the hurricane was coming, but they say that if she'd been even an hour later, the whole village would have been destroyed with no survivors. That was fortunate. Personally, I think there's more to it than that. Peyton had a knack for getting lucky. That had to have been more than just coincidence. She sounds like she had an amazing life. She did. The only thing more legendary than her adventures was her love life. Her love life? Oh yes, such an epic love story. They said no matter how many times Peyton disappeared, she always came back to find her one true love, Captain Edward Mortimer. The curator gestures to a portrait behind you when you turn to see his face. Edward. What happened to him? It is said that after Peyton disappeared for the final time, Edward spent the rest of his days sailing the 7 seas, waiting for her to return. Your breath catches as your heart thumps in your chest. I'm so sorry, Edward. I wish I could have been there with you. The curator clears her throat and gives you a small, knowing smile. I'll leave you to browse, but let me know if you have any more questions. Thanks. He leaves and you study the exhibit for another long moment before turning to look for clues about the crew's fate. Suddenly you feel a familiar sensation in the pit of your stomach. Almost like a tug. Is that... It can't be. You allow yourself to be drawn around the corner into another room. There, on display in a locked glass case, is a compass, and it still calls to you in a now familiar way. Does that mean... But before you can wrap your mind around the possibilities, someone steps up beside you, close to comfort. Oh, excuse me, You... Nice to see you too, girl. But you're dead. I saw you get stabbed. That's not important right now. He waves away your concerns and gestures to the case. Your heart thuds in your chest as your anticipation surges through your veins. I'm going to steer that compass and get back to the past, to the right time. The only question is, are you with me? You stare at the compass, and for a moment you feel the sea spray against your face. The rocking deck beneath your feet, the thrill of the wind in your hair. You have my attention. Thanks for playing Distant Shores. We hope you enjoyed reading this book as much as we enjoyed making it. From all of us here, we wish you many adventures ahead on land and sea. Yeah, right, Pixelberry. Very short and bittersweet. But hey, at least we have other really crappy books. Thanks for that. I can't wait to read The Nanny Affair. You guys put so much effort into that book. Cough. Sarcasm. At least this book was tolerable to me. Without further ado, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe! Head down to below to social media, Discord, if you'd like to support me and my content. It'd be greatly appreciated. We're only a couple subscribers away from 12,000. Better late than never, in my opinion. And this community continues to grow. And that's what I want. A community. Community of awesome folks. So let's continue to grow it. Without further ado, please tune in to Twitch very shortly. I will be live streaming Ghosts of Tsushima, a very beautiful, brand new game that I got today. Thank you for tuning in. Catch you all later. Peace.